Now, the last time we were all together was the special conference in Birmingham back in May, when we took our historic decision to enter into coalition government. Now, I know it sounds a little bit cheesy, but being back at this conference feels, to me at least, very much like coming home. Okay, it's now become more like a cross between Fort Knox and Terminal 5, but still. I'm sorry, I'm genuinely sorry about the extra security. Particularly, do you remember there was a very nice lady who always used to sit somewhere near the front, knitting through endless conference speeches, much to the delight of the nation's photographers. Is she here now? No, well, I guess she's probably stuck in the... Oh, you are here? Oh, you've got... Oh, no, it's not you. Well, I think you're not a lady. I mean, you know, I think she's probably stuck in the queue complaining about having her needles confiscated. Anyway, so it might take a few more minutes to get into our conference than it used to, but that won't stop us from continuing in the fine traditions of Lib Dem conference. It won't stop Simon Hughes leading a rousing rendition of The Land at Glee Club. It won't stop Tim Farron later holding court in the Conference Hotel bar in his vintage Blackburn Rovers shirt. And it won't stop Paddy Ashdown telling the same jokes he's been telling since the late 80s. The last few months have been some of the most remarkable in the history of our party. And I'm proud that for the first time in our party's history, Liberal Democrats will be addressing you as Secretaries of State and Government Ministers. And it's fantastic to finally see Liberal Democrats behind the government dispatch box, or hear them in the case of Sarah Tether. Sorry. Why did she give me some jokes at my expense last year, so I'm just returning the favour. But when we gathered last autumn, I stood before you and I said I wanted to be Prime Minister, which, by the way, I still do. For now, I'm more than happy to address you as Deputy Prime Minister. Now, we're all learning quickly the difference between being in opposition and being in government. There are practical differences. I have a new office, Peter Mandelson's old office, actually, which, as you can imagine, is a little grander than I'm used to. It's got a great view, it overlooks Horse Guards Parade. And for the first few weeks, there was a marching band that practiced outside my window every single day. I mean, try putting together a comprehensive package of political reforms with 24 trumpets and trombones playing there's no business like show business outside your window. I tell you, it's not easy. I've also learned, of course, you need to be much more careful about what you say. For example, I gave a speech early on and when the government started, about how Britain was the most centralised country in Europe except Malta. Now that might sound very familiar to you, and that's because I've said this 1,000 times in conference speeches, in town hall meetings, and no one's ever batted an eyelid. But it turns out, when you're Deputy Prime Minister, say that, and you get an official briefing from the Maltese embassy. Seriously, on Maltese local government systems and their commitment to the devolution of power. So I'd like to say sorry to the people of Malta for any offence I may have caused them. And second, I'd like to set the record straight. Britain is the most centralised country in Europe. Full stop. But not for long. Not for long. We'll see into that. Now, there are, in fact, plenty of advantages being in coalition with the Conservatives. I can never be accused of being the poshest man in the room anymore. And you learn some astonishing facts. Eric Pickles has a stalker. This is true. Well, the police have got their work cut out hiding him. I mean, he's the only cabinet minister you can spot on Google Earth. The truth is, we're achieving some great things already in this government. Lifting hundreds of thousands of the lowest paid workers out of tax altogether. restoring and protecting civil liberties, reforming the criminal justice system and ending child detention, the triple guarantee for pensioners, the pupil premium, political reform. We've done all that and more just in the first 4 months. 4 months in which we've made huge progress in delivering the changes you have campaigned for, election after election, night after night, doorstep after doorstep. And I want everyone in this room to just stop and enjoy that for a second. I hope each and every one of you is as proud as I am on what we've already achieved. Now, I know there's a long road ahead, that's true. And there are going to be some big, difficult decisions along the way. But after years of campaigning, years of hard work by everyone in this room and countless others over the lifetime of our party, we are finally putting liberal values at the heart of British government. You had the courage to take the leap into the unknown, to take our party into government. You were right to do so. I know, believe you, I know that being in this coalition isn't always easy. But we are a party that has always advocated pluralism, believing that politics can be better when different parties work together. That doesn't mean that the nervousness that some of us felt about going into government has disappeared overnight. The different impulses that for many people here pulled heads one way and hearts another, that hasn't simply vanished. But we've done something bold, something exciting, unexpected. And as a result, things will never be the same for our party again. Being a party of government means new responsibilities on us, as well as new expectations of us. I came into politics, like you, to change things, to break the stranglehold of two-party dominance, to make this country fairer, freer, greener, and we are doing just that. I know, I read the newspapers, not everyone gets it. I know some members of the press don't know quite what to make of Liberal Democrats in government. It's a bit confusing. They're used to the simple black and white stories or red and blue stories. This government has them bamboozled. According to some, we have too much influence. According to others, we've achieved the greatest disappearing act since Lord Lucan. To be fair, I've learned quite a bit actually from the press coverage we've received. It had never occurred to me, for example, that Danny Alexander looks just like Beaker from the Muppets. Talking of Muppets, there's the Labour leadership contest. Now, like most people, I followed it with, well, I was about to say with interest. That's not quite true. What an uninspiring bunch! Instead of using that contest to spell out the plans that they've got for the country, they would rather court their members by being petty, tribal, reactionary, with not one single constructive thing to say, not a single answer to the question of how we clean up the mess in the economy that they left behind. I think it's like an episode of Lost. No one understands it. They don't know where they are or where they're going, and it feels like it's never going to end. Now we're here to launch our support for the Yes to Fairer Votes campaign. To say this is a long time coming is an understatement. We've been waiting for the dam to burst for nearly 100 years. A version of AV was first proposed in the Speakers' Conference in 1917. But better late than never. I know AV may not be the favourite voting system of everyone here, but whether you prefer this or AV Plus, the single transferable vote, or any other model, we all agree that AV is infinitely fairer than what we have at the moment. Look at where we are now. A creaking, unfair political system unfit for the 21st century. A voting system that means millions of people don't think it's worth voting at all, that leaves untold numbers of people feeling they have to vote tactically rather than for the party or the candidate that they agree with. A system that ingrains the standards of safe seats where MPs can arrogantly assume they have a job for life, that has created a situation where time and time again more people have chosen not to vote than voted for the winning party. First past the post is not fit for purpose. It's a relic that deserves to be consigned to the past. Good MPs have nothing to fear from AV. Only those that take their constituents for granted do. So we say vote yes in May. Yes to a more democratic system where MPs will need a majority of voters to support them. Yes to a system that compels MPs to spend less time with their duck houses and more time with their constituents. Yes to a system that means no MP has a safe seat for life. This isn't about us. This isn't about the Liberal Democrats. We don't know whether we'll benefit from AV or not. It's about fair play. It's about good democracy. It's about putting people back in charge. So with your support and hard work, and with the dedication of campaigners around the country, the referendum in May, and give the country the fairer voting system it deserves. Thank you.